My name is Dwayne Wood. I was a United States Secret Service agent for 33 years. I did go to Vietnam, and I spent 3 years in the Special Forces in the Republic of Vietnam. Came back from Vietnam. I was a police officer in Los Angeles for 2 years and was recruited out of the LAPD. And knowing what being a policeman in Los Angeles entailed, and knowing what the United States Secret Service had to offer, there really wasn't too much of a decision that I had to come to. I was hired specifically to protect Richard Nixon's daughters. They would needed younger Secret Service agents so that it wouldn't be quite so obvious his daughters were under protection when they were going to the University of Maryland. When Mr. Nixon resigned, then rolled over to the Ford detail. After Mr. Ford, I had the experience of protecting Mr. Carter. After Mr. Carter was Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush. It allowed me to get a lot of insights into how the government works. It allowed me to meet a lot of politicians, allowed me to basically see the inner workings of the government and to be present when a lot of decisions were made affecting the United States.
I definitely think there's an aspect for most people that they enjoy just helping people, and one of the reasons being is there is a self-fulfillment in that.
The role of a Secret Service agent is investigation, presidential protection, specifically tasked with protecting the White House, U.S. Treasury Building, Eisenhower Executive Office Building, by means of patrol, policing, foot patrol. So there are many hats that we were supposed to wear.
It's all active, positive training. And one of the things, of course, that they need to teach you to do is run towards a gun when common sense would dictate that you turn around and run the other way.
So very, very stressful. Every day was stressful.
I had gone to the lead car in the motorcade. That was my assignment that day. We heard shots, and I started to get out of the car. But as soon as I started to get out of the car, I noticed that Jerry Parr throwing Mr. Reagan into the back of the limousine. We took off at a rather high speed, headed back for the White House, and just as we were coming around DuPont Circle, Jerry Parr got on the radio and said, "No, we need to go to George Washington Hospital. We need to go now."
Making sure that you're not taking anything for granted or being complacent in any way. Always expect the unexpected and trust in your training.
Then rolled over to the Ford detail and protected Mr. Ford, and was fortunate enough during one of the assassination attempts on Mr. Ford to get the gun out of Lynette Frome's hand and wrestle her to the ground prior to placing her under arrest.
You know, there's times where we feel like we can't do anything, and sometimes it holds true.
We heard in our earpieces that a plane had run into the World Trade Center. You know, it leaves you a cold feeling. You just can't believe that that has really happened, that anybody would take that many innocent lives in order to make a political statement. We, of course, were very frustrated that we couldn't take any action, but we at the same time knew that we were performing a very important function of getting the president safely to a different location.
You see somebody do something great and you're like, I want to be able to do that. Like, I have the ability to save somebody's life, and seeing people and having that motivation, it really does help with the job. It
gives you a real appreciation of the people who are serving the country now.
Personality, your character, they are ones that you walk out the door and then you just, all of a sudden, you start to incorporate them in your daily life.
I tell you, the motivation was never in the money for most people. It's never in the, you know, the long hours and the bad times, right? We do it for the good times, and we do it for what we think is an awesome job.
Opportunities are going to be presented to you throughout your life, and don't say no until you've really given it some thought.